Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another video. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about one of the most overlooked areas in Hollywood studios, in my opinion, which is Echo Lake. Now, Echo Lake is going to be directly to your left as soon as you walk in the entrance to Hollywood studios. Echo Lake is going to be encompassing a couple of different things, such as a couple of shows, a couple of restaurants, and even extends all the way to an attraction. Now, I believe that Echo Lake is severely overlooked for a couple reasons. When you walk into the park, you're going to go directly to a couple things. That's going to be Tower of Terror Rock and Roller Coaster. That's directly on Sunset Boulevard. You might pass by Runaway Railway, head towards Toy Story Land, and maybe ride Slinky Dog Dash in the morning before it gets to an outrageous wait time. Or you might go to Galaxy's Edge, which is a popular option for a lot of people. Now, to get to Galaxy's Edge, you can take one of two ways. And one way, which is the main way, is going to pass you through right directly through Echo Lake. Now, a lot of people are going to pass through there and think, oh, wow, look at this. Wow, there's a really cool lake here. There's a couple other cool things there. Some people might even stop there throughout their day to do different stuff. However, I feel like people don't truly appreciate the area for what it is. And that's what we're going to be covering today, is we're going to be covering all the cool things in detail inside of Echo Lake. Now, before this video does start, if you like this video, remember to subscribe, drop a like down below, and comment below what you thought of this video as well. Now, I think we should start with what it's called itself, which is Echo Lake. Now, Echo Lake is going to be a man-made lake, and it's actually modeled after a real Echo Lake over in downtown Los Angeles. Now, that one was used as a background for a lot of early movies shot in the early 1900s. And ours is going to be a similar replica. Ours is going to have a fountain in the middle, which is very pretty. It's also going to be surrounded by a couple things, which is a really cool boat that has a restaurant inside of it. I'll get to that a little bit later. And it's also going to feature Gertie the dinosaur over on the left-hand side, which he sells ice cream as well. Now, I think that we should start with the surroundings that are going to surround the lake itself. We can start with the restaurants to start. Specifically, Hollywood and Vine and 50s Primetime Cafe. Two completely different restaurants that have their own completely unique individual architecture stylings that are actually modeled after real places and real architecture styles from different architects. 50s Primetime Cafe is awesome. I just ate there for the first time a couple months ago. Basically, it takes you back to your grandma's house set in the 50s. It has a lot of home-cooked food, and it is really awesome, and it is very beautiful on the outside. You can take a look at some of the awesome things on the outside, including this spinning sign, which I think is pretty cool. And then moving down over to Hollywood and Vine, that's going to be another restaurant as well. It also has its own architecture style as well that's actually completely different from 50s Primetime Cafe. Now, I've actually never been there before myself, but it's definitely on the bucket list. Now, one special thing about Hollywood and Vine is that on the upper section of the restaurant on the outside is going to be some pretty cool windows. If anyone knows anything about the Magic Kingdom windows on Main Street, they're all going to have names of famous people who help contribute to the park. Now, one cool thing is that Bob Weiss is the only one to have a window here in Hollywood Studios. He was the former president of Walt Disney Imagineering and a very influential man in the company's history, so he absolutely deserves this window. He did get it recently in the recent years as well. Now, there's also going to be two more interesting things as well. There's going to be a cutout of Roger Rabbit smashing through the window, and the detective from Roger Rabbit as well. He's going to be right next to him. Now, that is actually a pretty unique story. There's actually a lot of really cool history behind Roger Rabbit and Hollywood Studios. There's even another billboard just over on the other side of the street, which adds to the Roger Rabbit lore. I'm not really going to get into any of the Roger Rabbit stuff. You can just think that Roger Rabbit used to have a pretty influential role in Hollywood Studios and was actually supposed to be part of Hollywood Studios down near Sunset Boulevard at one point before that was cut. There's a lot of really cool videos on it. I would definitely recommend watching it and learning about it. Some really cool stuff. Now, if we keep moving in a circle like we're doing now, we might as well. We're going to pass a couple more really cool buildings that have a lot of really unique architecture. There's even almost like a little park section in the middle of Echo Lake as well. A lot of benches are going to surround the water as well. Now, if we keep moving around in a circle, we can talk about some more of the stores in the facade. They are all going to have some pretty unique architecture that are individual to each individual building. Specifically, we can talk about Keystone Clothiers. Now, Keystone Clothiers is one of the main shops that's part of Hollywood Boulevard. And it's going to have a completely different facade on each side of the building, which is actually really cool. You can see some of the different stuff right here. Like one part of it has a dentist, which is right outside of this little stand. And then you can see it's got this kind of temple look on one side. And then there's even like 3 different facades that you can see here all stacked together in a row, which is really cool. And I think it's really unique how they actually are able to pack so much different stuff all into one singular building. And the cool thing is on the inside, it's not even what you would think. It's all Star Wars and Marvel merch. Pretty cool. Definitely a really unique part of Echo Lake. Now, if we keep following along the lake itself, we're going to hit Dockside Diner, which is actually a quick service location disguised inside of a boat, which is super awesome. Now the food is about normal for what you would think for theme park food. However, this boat actually has a lot of really cool theming details that I think a lot of people pass up. And the boat itself is absolutely beautiful, especially at night. It has a lot of really cool lights that light up the sign and light up the entire boat. And it's a really cool piece of the lake that I think a lot of people pass up. And occasionally it's actually going to even have its own steam whistle as well. Now if we keep moving along the lake, we're going to hit what is now the Frozen Sing-Along Theater. There's also some other things like a character meet and greet for Olaf and some other characters, and a Mickey Shorts Theater. Now personally, that stuff is just not too interesting for me, so we're going to keep moving on. Now from here, you can see this absolutely beautiful view of the entire lake itself, especially at night. It looks absolutely amazing. It is really, really pretty, and like I said, a lot of people do pass up this area just because they're constantly going to another place. But that's the cool thing about Disney. Sometimes you can just slow down and enjoy the awesome things like this. And there are places like this all over property where you can just really slow down and enjoy them. Now, of course, we are not done here. We're going to keep moving on along the lake. You're going to see two themed food booths here, or food and drink at least. And they are both outside of the one, the only Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular. One of the best things at Hollywood Studios, and it is one of the only original attractions at Hollywood Studios to this day. It opened just after the park opened, but I would still say that's basically opening day. Now, Indiana Jones is my personal favorite live action show that Disney does. It is absolutely top tier. There's fire, pyro, stunts, acting, explosions. It's everything that Hollywood Studios used to be, and it's still the exact same. Well, to be fair, it has changed a little bit after COVID, but just barely. It is really, really, really cool, and everybody can enjoy it. It honestly deserves its own video. I'll put in a couple clips from my recent visit there. I happened to catch the last show of the day, and the light was absolutely gorgeous. It was awesome.
It was good.
Now, another really cool thing about Indiana Jones is that over the summer when the 5th movie did come out, or whenever it came out, this bar over here was actually converted into an Indiana Jones bar because the exit for the left side of the theater actually goes towards this slightly themed area for Indiana Jones. It's got a lot of tanks, and it's supposed to be a World War II Germany era. However, you know the way the parks are working, they're moving away from that stuff, so any references to German stuff has been dethemed, and now they're just tanks. Still super, super cool because there is an actual real tank back there that is just sitting there next to what used to be a really cool bar, and it had a lot of history there as well. And it's also an awesome facade. Now, I know that I mentioned Gertie earlier. Gertie is this dinosaur that sits in Echo Lake. He is pretty awesome. He shoots smoke out of his nose, and there's ice cream that's served on his belly. Now, Gertie is actually pretty cool because he is actually a real animated character from the early 1900s. And the film that he was in actually inspired Walt Disney himself, which is a pretty cool nod to Walt's original filmmaking because in the end, Walt Disney was a filmmaker as well. Now, I know that we have just made a circle, but Echo Lake does encompass a couple more things. Right outside of Indiana Jones Epic Stunt Spectacular to the right is going to be the Backlot Restaurant. Now, this restaurant is absolutely awesome because it is an original nod to the original Hollywood Studios. It's basically untouched as well. It honestly might be completely untouched. And on the inside, it has a lot of really cool movie props and other props that really make you feel like you are in the original Hollywood Studios. Now, I did come in at dinner time and it was pretty packed, so I didn't really want to film anything, but I got a couple clips and it was a really awesome restaurant. I definitely recommend checking it out. And then right to the right of that is actually going to be Star Tours. Now, Star Tours is technically part of Echo Lake. However, I didn't really cover it too much because I wanted to just cover the lake area. Now, Star Tours itself also deserves another own video as well. It is a really great ride. It has a lot of history, a lot of really cool stuff that I happen to know as well. Like the fact that the whole facade on the outside is set to indoor is just so cool. And it's got a full AT-AT up there too that shoots smoke out of it. Now, one more thing that I forgot to mention over by Keystone is actually going to be this pretty cool filmmaker. Now, he is standing next to a camera, and a lot of people are going to look over this part. And even if you do see the filmmaker himself, one thing that a lot of people don't even see is they forget to look down. Now, down on the ground is going to be the park's dedication plaque. Now, each park actually has one of these. It was done by the CEO at the time, and this was going to be Michael Eisner, my personal favorite parks president and the man behind all of Hollywood Studios. Now, it has a lot of really cool writing, and I definitely recommend checking this out or any other dedication plaques around the entire resort. Now, it looks like we have completed the entire loop here, so it's going to wrap up the video. Now, in conclusion, I think that Echo Lake is actually really, really cool. Like I said, a lot of people are going to gloss over it because they're going through it. They don't ever take the time to slow down and just enjoy what it is. It's got a lot of really cool detailed architecture that has a lot of ties to real architects across the world. It also has a lot of really cool hidden details as well, and it's a great place to just slow down and enjoy yourself. But one thing that I really enjoy about it is that it's untouched. It is one part of the park that is perfectly intact from when it was original. A lot of the park has been changed over time, and this is one spot that you can actually just see the original vision. Now, once again, if you guys did enjoy this video, remember to leave a like, subscribe, comment down below what you enjoyed or what you even think about Echo Lake. I know a lot of people have thoughts about it. I actually have a Festival of the Arts shirt on right now because Festival of the Arts actually started today at the time of filming. I cannot wait to go and check that out. There's going to be a lot of really cool things there. It's actually my favorite festival as well. And yeah, thank you guys for watching again. If you are looking forward to a lot more videos like this, I would definitely recommend subscribing. I really though I'm going to try to find these hidden spots. And honestly, Echo Lake isn't even hidden. It's just the spots that I think people should slow down, take in, and enjoy more. All right, thank you guys.